Thank you for joining us today. This is Prophet Lynn Templeton, and this is the Prophet Templeton Hour, formerly known as the Prophetic Hour. This is a rebroadcast of a former show. There was information left out, plus there were some things that I wanted to correct. So this is a rebroadcast of The Mask. The Mask. I'd like to first of all mention that one of my sources is Professor Dr. Nima Laverne, who formerly taught ancient civilization. So it's a very insightful, she found some very insightful information, and it coincided, she's a Christian, and so it coincided with the knowledge that God had revealed to me of what is going on. And the mask in particular, why there's such an emphasis on the mask. Now, I'm going to note this, that I'm not advising you of anything about wearing masks, but this information you need to hear. Okay, so here we go. Now, the mask. The first verse I want to present to you is Revelation 9 verse 11, and it says, "And they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue hath his name Apolloyon." And short for Apolloyon is Apollo. Now, the different names of the same individual is Apolloyon, Apollo, Dionysus, Janus, Bacchus, Pan. Okay, those are all the same individual. They're okay. So those are all the same name. Now we'll come back to that. There are 4 levels of falseness. You know, we're setting the groundwork here. 4 levels of falseness. In Psalms 119, 104, it talks about the false way. So there's 4 levels of falseness, just like there are 4 levels of truth. And the 4 levels of falseness is first the lie itself, lying. The second level is falseness itself. The third is deception. And the fourth is an illusion or a delusion, okay, which refers to a individual. But an illusion can cover the entire world, okay, or it can cover even more than that even. So that is the highest level of a quote lie, is an illusion. Okay, now bear with us, we're setting the groundwork here. I want to also say that I want to note this information that when a major event happens, over time it becomes history, and history becomes legend, and legend becomes mythology. Okay, so mythology is a combination of truth and falseness, truth and lies. You know how over time people add to or take away, and this is what happens. Okay, so mythology carries a lot of truth to it. Okay, and these names that I mentioned earlier, these are mythological names representing, okay, someone, and we'll come back to that. Now, the Dionysus, which is all of those names I gave you, including Bacchus, is the god of the grape harvest. If you look it up, it'll say the god of the grape harvest, insanity, ritual madness, orgies, religious ecstasy, okay, theater in ancient Greek religion, okay, and it said that this is the brother of Apollo. He is the brother of Apollo. Now here it comes. Apollo is Satan. In the ancient times, even during the time Jesus walked the earth, there were those who had been worshiping Apollo. And Apollo, again, is Satan. Okay? Now, there's a book out by Dr. Tom Horn, and he asked the question, is CERN a door for Apollo? Apolloyon. Okay? And he makes a very interesting argument. So I want to note a couple other things at this point. I want to also mention that, and I hate to jump around like this, but we left this out as our preliminary information, that Florence Nightingale, there was a article about Florence Nightingale in the May 12, 2020 article, and it talked about how Florence Nightingale, who was the first nurse, who the field of nursing is, she's given the title as the original first nurse, and all nurses look up to Florence Nightingale. Now, Florence Nightingale honored a priestess, and this is who she looked up to, named Cassandra, who served Apollo in his temple. Okay? And there are doctors. There's a group of doctors. I think they're Jewish doctors that they innocently, I believe, recognize Florence Nightingale as by wearing a mask. By wearing a mask. Okay. Now, the mask is a very interesting tool, and again, as I mentioned, the mask is according to ancient writing, is a powerful mediator between the living, the dead, and the spirit. Masks are used in rituals to summon spirits. This is what's recorded. Masks are used in rituals to summon spirits. Dr. Horn talks about the opening of a door for Apollo. He talks about CERN and its activities as opening a door. You have to mix the science with the sorcery. The science with the sorcery. And he asked the question, are people in some of the high positions practicing sorcery, witchcraft? I'm just presenting the information, okay? As your prophet, I must bring this to your attention. And in Revelation 12:9, it says, and the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceived the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Okay, so they're already here. Every eclipse represents a new beginning. Now, there are certain celebrations that happen on new eclipse, and some of the activities that take place for the calling, as you may, the activities take place around eclipses. Now, the calling, I failed to mention that, by the way, Dionysus or Bacchus, his picture looks like a half man and a half goat. How I found this out and put two and two together was a picture that they showed of a ceremony being taking place at CERN that Dr. Horn had in his book. And I was amazed, at the half goat, half man, and with horns. So the wearing of a mask is symbolic in representation. It represents this individual. It represents Bacchus, Dionysus, Apollo. And so what is needed is the masses to, if this is a ceremony, you would need the masses to participate in the calling or the summoning of this spirit, the wearing of the mask. We don't know, but Dr. Horn, he believes there's something going on with this wearing of mask. So we'll leave it at that. It appears to be something going on here. If you pull up on Google the ceremonies and activities that are going on at CERN, it looks very strange. Why would you have rituals and ceremonies at a scientific center that's supposedly looking for the Higgs boson, or however you pronounce it, looking for a particle? But why are they performing rituals and ceremonies? And so Dr. Horn talks about this, and it just makes you suspicious. Why are they so concerned about wearing masks when there was a pandemic in 1918, and there was another that I can't recall the exact date? There's been two pandemics in our century, and the wearing of masks was not so emphasized. Okay, it was nothing like what we have today. So this is very interesting, and I present this to you as your prophet so that you can review this. This is evidential, and so I thought I would present it today, and I want to thank you for tuning in. Like, subscribe, and share us with your friends. Hit that thumbs up button. We need to get credit for this, for our shows. So we would appreciate it. We know that this teaching is not for everybody, but for those who are maturing in the Word. This is a word of maturity. I want to thank you for joining us. We'll be back this coming Sunday. Thanks again. We'll see you later. May God bless. We'll see you. So.